is because, like everything in life or for your strategy for your company, if you don't set the right goals, then it's very difficult to create any strategy, to implement it, and to measure. So that's something we'll cover as well. The last webinar was about recruiting. I'm not going to spend too much time there, but I will take a few things from the past discussions, as it will help us to go in the core of the subject of today, how to activate, which is the fourth point here, and the two others which will be part of other webinars on how to engage with ambassadors and how to harvest the fruit of this effort. So the one that you're putting, but the one that the ambassador is also putting. So let's go. Enjoy the ride again, and let me tell you more about our framework. So as I said, the framework we have built is basically based on what we received as comments. So it's a simple loop which covers four main points, which we call the pillars of social cedar. So the first one is the recruitment. So identify and recruit your ambassadors, and then you will be able to activate them. When we talk about activation is how do you segment your ambassadors? Who are they? How do you communicate with them? And this is for us activation. And then you are able to engage with them, making sure that you build a relationship, that you build something more than just asking them to share content. That is interaction, and that it goes both ways. And then you will be able to go to the last point of this framework, which is harvesting the fruit of all this effort, which means the analysis of, did my campaign work or didn't it? And if it did, why? How many ambassadors did answer by opening this mail and share? And these are possible only if you had the first point, which is recruit, activate, engage before, and obviously making sure that you have set the right goals. Talking about goals, let me explain you a little bit more on how at Social Cedar we are helping companies to create an ambassador program, and certainly how to strategize and how to implement any program. So this is the ambassador Canva that maybe some of you have seen already. I invite you after this webinar, we will send you all the information and the presentation here. And this is a Canva that you can easily use for you and for your company to create the strategy and see what are the different blocks that you have to look after to being able to implement any ambassador program. So simple, what are the goals, what are the challenges, then who are your ambassadors, how are you going to recruit them, then what will you ask them, how often, and then what does it mean to engage with them, what kind of relationship would you want to build, and obviously then you will be able to define and have the right KPIs and measure. Something that is at the heart of this Canva is a name for the ambassador program and who is owning it. We see very often with clients, the challenge in having a successful ambassador program very often is within the company, who will be the owner of that project, who will lead it. So, and then as every plan is timing. When will you start? What are the milestones? What are the different phases? So I invite you to use that Canva. I invite you to test it. As you can see on the top right, there is version. Why? Because very often we see that you have to make a few to have the right one. And we see also for some companies that they will have different Canva depending on the goals that they have set. This being said, I would like to take you further in the journey on how to activate ambassadors. So as we discussed before, super important is setting the right and clear goals for you to succeed into everything you will do. So how do you do that? Here are a few examples. So what is it? Is it your company that is not yet out there, or people don't know about your service or your product or what you offer, and you want your ambassador that are already your first client, your first employee, to get out and to share this, that they make the market out there aware, or you want the whole company that is behind a new product, a new service, a new philosophy, a new strategy, and you want them to make the people out there aware of? Or do you have a problem of image, of perception? people, clients, leads are not seeing you as you would like to. Your DNA is not yet clear, so you want to boost this. Conversion, making sure that you have enough leads coming in and that you convert them into clients. Or simply retention, where you would like your either employees with employer branding or your clients to stay with you, then you will show how good your services are through the voice of your ambassadors. So these are a few types. Obviously, there are other goals. The thing that is important when we are back to the Canva is this is the essence. This is the beginning of your journey is, okay, set the right goals. Then you can go into the other steps and then you will be able to do any implementation. Set the right goals and then you will be able to measure the success. So, pardon me. Now that you have set your goals and that you're ready to embark, you ask yourself, okay, but who are my ambassadors? Who are they? Where are they coming from? And how can I get to them? So we have different ways on how to recruit them. We're not going to see how to recruit them, but we are going to see who are they. And who are they means that out there is a population of potential ambassadors for your brand or organization. Depending on your goal, you may work with different of these types. So maybe if you have big image, let's say, challenges and you want to have celebrities on board, this is probably one of the ambassadors that you will go to. Should you want to work with bloggers, partners, employees, this will depend on your strategy. Obviously, as you can see from the right and the left, these different types of ambassador will have different impact. It can be cost-wise, it can be image-wise, it can be region-wise. So what we see is that the upper part most probably will be the one that will cost you the most money, but will give you a larger impact. Certainly because these people very often have very large network, a lot of followers. However, what we see is that the lower part, the fan, partners, clients, and employee, who one by one have a lower impact in terms of network, all together can create as much impact as the one above. And studies shows that the engagement towards the network of these people, then it's a lot higher. Why? Because again, we see that people, friends, family, and network believe more a fan, a client, an employee than a celebrity. There are studies who shows that as soon as you are going higher than a few thousand of followers, then your credibility is going down. Same as the ratio between number of likes and comments. If you have a follower, an influencer that shares something that has only like but no comment, then there is no engagement. So again, what is the intention of these people that see this post to do something with it except liking it? So in the last 3 months, we had somebody here studying on the different ambassadors that we were having to understand who are performing better and why. And what we have seen is that these employees or these fans or partners very often were performing better than having influencers. So again, it's not one or the other, is what are you going to do with your potential ambassadors. And this leads us to the next part, which is your ambassador mix. And we have developed this at Social Cedar based on a mix that you know, being part of a marketing or communication team or company or an agency, is the communication mix. What is it? The communication mix is finding the right balance between the channels, the targets, online, offline. So then you create the perfect source for your brand. So the communication mix. Here what we do is with clients understand what is the perfect ambassador mix, meaning who are you going to have in your population of ambassador. And what we see, if I give you an example of a city, is they have their employees, so the administration, who is part of their ambassadors. Then they have the citizen, these proud people that live in the city and that are willing to show to the outside world how proud they are. And then you have celebrities. Who are they, these celebrities? Probably not the Federer of this world. However, they are artists, they are entrepreneurs, they are sportsmen that live in that city, that are very proud, maybe probably born there, and that want to show how good this city is, to improve the image awareness or the proudness simply of that city. So this is an example on what can be an ambassador mix. For every company, this mix can be different depending on, again, what are your objectives and what do you want to reach. So important thing of this mix as you would do for communication. So this brings us to the core of today. So we have seen that it's important to strategize, have a framework for your program, understand your goals, and understand who are your ambassadors. Why? Because you will see that understanding who you are and where you want to go, understanding who they are and what is in your interest will give you the key to bridge this and make it a successful activation program. So let's go to this next step to how to activate them. So what we have seen is you have to find this sweet spot from who are you, what is your DNA, and who are they. Why? Because again, these will be giving you this match, this sweet spot, because content that these ambassadors, these people that are going to share, will only be shared if it is giving any value for them. So you have to know, okay, my ambassadors, they are interested in this, they are willing to have this, they are willing to have that. Why? Because they want to show to their friends that they are either very expert into an environment, or they want to show in a B2B environment to their leads how good their brand they are working for is, or how expert they are. So there are different drivers. So as a brand, you have to understand this to being able to find this sweet spot with your content. What does it mean too? It means what we say is the pub. This sweet spot is the pub. For the one that are speaking French with us today, is not the pub or la publicité, but it's really this pub, this virtual coffee where people are talking to each other. So we at Social Seeder aim to recreate this. What we want to create is a place where people are sharing ideas, influence other people, also on a service, on a product, on a story, because this is what happens at a coffee. You have these two friends that are talking about the service that they like, and they share it with others. So again, this is where you're going to be able to find the sweet spot, is again understanding who you are. What are the goals you have? What is your DNA? What are the drivers of your ambassadors? What do they want? And then you are able to find this sweet spot and recreate this coffee where people are sharing ideas, like you do yourself with friends when you are over at a dinner or having a drink, and you are sharing ideas or stories about a brand or service or product. The third element of the sweet spot is timing. Why? Super important to understand when these ambassadors are willing to get content, when are they sharing, why are they sharing, and at which frequency. Again, you have different types of ambassadors. You have ambassadors that are very active, some that are less active. So you have to know with whom you can count depending on what you share. So I'll repeat myself, but this is again from what you as a brand, the DNA of your brand, and what are your ambassadors expecting. Make sure that you find this match by understanding what are their drivers and when are they willing to get this content or this information from you. So a few tips to help you activate your ambassadors is what we see when a client or brand start with an ambassador program. So you are going to go out there and you are going to recruit your ambassadors. You're going to ask them if they are willing to enter in your program, be a friend of your brand, be part of the family. So make sure that whenever you have people subscribing, that as soon as you can, share content with them. Why? Because like you, like me, everybody is registered to many different platforms and tools, is receiving a lot of communication. And if you would share with these ambassadors later than sooner, then what will happen? Probably they will not recall, and then it's not going to be the same relationship that you will be building. The same as you have in a relationship or at a pub. If you meet somebody, you talk to them, you meet this girl or this man, what will you do? Then you will most probably not wait days and weeks before calling him or her back or sending an SMS. So same there, when you have ambassadors on board, be as quick as possible to send your first campaign to them. Another point which we see that is super important is do not always talk about yourself. Talk about the benefits that you deliver. Talk about your world. Obviously, the product needs to be there, but what your ambassador will care and what the network of your ambassador will care even more is how can this service, product, or brand deliver value to me? Not that this product is XYZ. So again, talk about the world. You can take news article, press releases, alternative businesses or industries that are talking about new technologies or new trends that are linked to what you aim and what you do. And that will help your ambassador to be a driver of your own goals by not telling you are the best, this is my new product, I have this or I have that. Then again, what we have seen in regards of the sweet spot, understand that these ambassadors will value what you send them. So if you want to have a good relationship, try to understand what are their needs and make sure that you are offering them value. So if I give you an example of this alcohol brand, what they have done is when you become an ambassador, you get a business card of this is Peter van Dijk, ambassador. Will they really use this business card? Probably not. However, they would feel, okay, I'm part of something bigger. It's not just me. I'm part of this company. I'm part of this story. I'm part of this circle. And this is what will help this brand to be different than just you are an ambassador. And what they do on top of this is they deliver an app to these ambassadors, and these ambassadors are able to see the maturation of this alcohol brand, which is a whiskey. And for the one in that room who knows about whiskey, I don't, is that I just know it takes time. And this is exactly their power there, is that they have an ambassador for years. So in all this time, the person is able to see the maturation of this whiskey, and the top of it is that this is his barrel with his name. So he will be proud about this barrel when it will get to maturation. Why? Because the brand is sending him a bottle of whiskey with his name. So the guy feels super proud. He feels that he's valued by the company. And what will he do? He will tell all his friends about it. And the good thing about it is that it did not cost much to the company, because at the end of the day, okay, they had to develop the app, but they only give one bottle. So this is like the real budget, the real cost at the time. And study shows that all the friends of these ambassadors, when they were surveyed about the brand of whiskey, top of mind, it was always that brand. So all the network of these people were influenced by the fact they knew this ambassador, and this person was really happy about being an ambassador. So this which leads me to the second point: make sure that they are part of something bigger than I'm just an ambassador who clicked twice to share something. And I guess the last point is pretty clear. Then avoid this fatigue of pushing your brand, but understand what they need, what is your DNA, what are their driver. And then you will be able to create this sweet spot. And then the activation of your ambassador will be exponential. So with these tips, I'd like to show you a few cases and a few brands that are doing it well. So Adidas, who is performing in a quite competitive environment, although today I think they did quite well with the Stan Smith. At least this is what I see. Maybe in that room there are many people with Stan Smith. Here in the office, I see that sometimes half of the people are having the same pair of shoes. So I guess they did right, or they did good. However, they are still being challenged by other big brands like Nike, but also all the smaller brands, which are getting more and more market shares today. So what did they create? They created the Tango Squad. What is the Tango Squad? Is a group of young people, about 500 of them, that are representing Adidas. And how do they do that? Based on the point that we saw before, they really give them almost the key of Adidas. They put the brand in their hand. Why? Because everything that will be created about Adidas, about the story, about the world of Adidas in terms of content, in terms of brand, in terms of event, product launches, will be first shared with them and then will be shared with the rest of the world. Meaning, even journalists, press, magazine, bloggers will not get this information before. These people will be the first one. Obviously, this is a pilot project. If it runs well, they will deploy it to bigger groups and will go to different regions and countries. But they really believe in the way that these people are the voice of Adidas more than any traditional ad could do. Because as we know, ads the way it has been before and still how it is today, it's disrupted. And this is the way Adidas believe can bring something completely different. Although they take the risk, because the risk is they give to these people the brand and they have to share, they have to talk about it before anybody else. So again, they're understanding what is the DNA of your brand or who are your clients, then your ambassadors, and how you find this sweet spot by understanding what drives them to become an ambassador, to be an ambassador, to have the voice of your brand. So this leads us to another case, Red Bull. So I guess most of you know Red Bull, probably know also the mission. But what I'd like to explain to you today is, today we don't really know anymore. Is Red Bull a drink brand or is it a media brand? It's most probably because they have seen, okay, we are a drink which is giving people more energy. And we have out there some activities where they are highly in need of energy. So all this adventure sport, all this extreme sport, which were not taken by any brand before, at least not at the level Red Bull is doing today. And they knew these people were a certain kind of people, a target that they wanted to have as the ambassadors of Red Bull, that they would be the voice of Red Bull. So again, they understood who they are, what is their DNA, who are they, and find this match. And you can see that today, these people that represent the brand are influencing all the other people around them to drink Red Bull, because now, as many people, they don't only drink Red Bull because they do sport, they drink Red Bull just because they are not having a coffee, just because they want to have a boost. Again, these are these influences that show to these people doing certain activities. And this is exactly what we see for ambassadors, is being able to find out who you are, who they are, and bridge. This is where you will find the sweet spot. Understand these are big brands. They have big budgets. They have super big reach and resources that might be different than lots of companies. And that's why I want to show you two other cases where they took the same dynamic, but in another scale, and it works. So go on the west for the one who knows. So a school with quite some challenges and ambition to be seen as a good school with good schooling, good ways of teaching these children on what the world of tomorrow will be. And what they have seen there is, in their market, in their niche, they had a lot of ambassadors. So we started from the point of what do you want to reach? So obviously there was to improve the way they were perceived outside, and their ambassadors were the administration, so the people working in the administration of the school. They have about 40 schools in their network. Then the professors of the school, the director of the school, and obviously the fans and parents. So this was the population of ambassadors, so their ambassador mix. And thanks to this, knowing who they are, who are these ambassadors, they have been able to bridge, find the sweet spot, and share with them stories about who they are and what they are offering in terms of schooling. And even when they were looking for new people, candidate recruitment, this was super successful. Why? Because they have been able to, again, bridge from who they are and who is their ambassadors. And in a few weeks, since they started their ambassador program, they were able to go from 0 to 1,500 ambassadors. So a guaranteed step for a small organization, but because they understood it right, then it's successful. The fourth case I'd like to show you or talk about it is Toyota Material Handling. So Toyota Material Handling, there it was interesting because at the beginning they had this ambition to start the ambassador program. However, they were having some people that were a bit reluctant to start being part of it. However, it has been reversed now because these people are asking Toyota to provide more content to them. Why? Because they saw that these people are B2B salesperson, that before they had to think on what they had to deliver to their network to show that what they were selling, the technology they were having, the innovation that they were putting to the market were the best ones. That now this was delivered by the headquarters and they could just share it. So, and to say is that they got from 1% of traffic from social media to 11% of traffic, thanks to all these ambassadors that were sharing on social media. So this is something that we see often is whenever you are able to bridge this gap and find the sweet spot, is that very often these ambassadors will ask for more, not you trying to push more. They will do this for you. So now that I have gone to these 4 cases, I'd like to show you the proof of what I actually said. So this is a study who shows the why it is so important to find the sweet spot. So obviously people like this because they want to share information, but just not to share. They want to share information to show to their network that either they are on top of their thing, or because they are interested, because this is a hobby, and they want to show to their network about them and how good they are. They want to support a cause. I think this is for the all non-governmental organization that we are having as client. This is their biggest asset. So they have hundreds and thousands of volunteers that are supporting the cause today and which want to participate. They want to be part of it. And this got to a point which is a bit lower about feeling involved. This involvement feeling is super important. So again, these ambassadors don't want to be just a solely ambassador that will click to 2 buttons. No, they want to participate to think bigger. So this is why it is important, and this is why they will share. So obviously, they want to connect with others with this way. They want to express themselves as easy as it can be. Is I am a like-minded, I like this, I agree to this, and I share it. And it can be a product, like the last one, to share product they care about, but it can be about a service, it can be an organization. So the caring is super important. So you see something and they care. When you put these two together, then you will have success. So this little graph to back up all the thing that I said before on why it is so important to have this sweet spot. Let me show you some examples of campaign that we did to help some of our clients on how to define their sweet spot and how to get traffic to where they want it. So here we have on do-it-yourself business who in a meeting were telling us, you know, it's all good, but we are having a lot of content, tutorials, but this is not always suited for our ambassadors, and it's a bit of a challenge. This is maybe not sexy enough to share. And what we had there in the discussion is very often is not necessarily where the landing page is or the content is and what is it about, is the way to there, and how you will be able to capture the attention of these ambassadors and lead them to share, and then their network to click and go to the landing page you aimed to have the traffic to go to. So in that case, what we took, so we were there at Valentine's Day, and they are offering tutorials to help people to do things in a easily, to do things easily. And what we did there is, and or for all the people that did already some work at home, you know that in a couple it's not easy, and there are often a lot of arguments on how do we do this, how to do that. And this is where we say this is Valentine's Day, this is the perfect moment to send a little joke. And then we said, okay, who did some wallpaper work without having any argument with their partner? And this was the campaign. So did you manage wallpapering without any argument with your partner? So, and this was leading these people to a tutorial on how to do it. So again, the tutorial was there, just is the way to it. So again, understand the moment, as we said before. So 9 on 10 should not be necessarily about your product. So this was the perfect moment. It was Valentine's Day. We could joke, and at the end of the day, we were leading them to this tutorial. So think of this twist that will help you to get a higher activation. Another example, so this is about our video, which we have shared for our 2.0 version, in which we shared with a small number of ambassadors, our own ambassadors, and which we had was on a Friday, end of the day, and we had more than 3,000 views in a weekend time. So again, there you see, we have shared this with our ambassadors, so our employees, but also with our partners, so the agency that are part of our network. And we shared this with some friends and clients, and all together, because everybody was excited about this new version, we were able to create more than 3,000 views in a weekend time. Again, think of timing, think of who you are sending it and why. This is another example from a company selling services around weddings and willing to inspire their clients and their network on what are the new trends in the wedding market. So in there, they wanted to share content about black decoration and dresses, something that is unusual for a marriage, and which they were sending to their ambassadors and who shared with their network. So the nice things there is, again, the group wasn't that big. If I'm correct, it was about 50 ambassadors, but because of the DNA of this brand and the need of these ambassadors to show to the outside world on how good they are and how they know about weddings and how they are on top of the latest trends, they were able to get each of them more than 50 unique hits for just one campaign. So again, this shows a really high engagement from their network. Also probably because their network was interested about weddings. Again, these people probably get into a certain age that are in line with being married, and their network too. So then the engagement is higher. Again, too, they know who they are, and then who you are, and you will find this sweet spot. I'd like to show you now how easy it is to do this directly from our platform. So if you permit me, I will just open this like this and go here, and I will show you, yes, webinar now, login. All right, what I will show you how easy it is to create a campaign into Social Seeder. So here you see, what you see now is the recruit module, which is everything about the different modules we have to recruit ambassadors, but what we are going to look at is the activation. So activation is creating a campaign. I give it a name, and you will see up, and I create it. Let's go. I'll go take my blog post, hop, choose my language, voila, up. Then here my title and description is taken. I'll choose my different social media network, and you will see that automatically everything has been created and all the sizes in once have been there. So I have my link where I want to direct the people to. I have my title that has been taken directly from the blog post and the description. Should you want to edit it, you can. Should you want to edit one specific channel, changing the image, you can as well. But let me take you to the next step, which is adding my ambassadors. So I will be here selecting the different ambassadors to whom I want to send this. And I will filter with the different segments because I don't want to send this to the fans, the journalists, or the agency. I want to send this to all the Social Seeder employees. Up, I will filter. I see here I have 13 ambassadors. Up, I select them all, add, and go. Here, and that step, I'm able to deselect or add a new ambassador should I want to do that. Here, I don't want to, so I just click next. Here is the email that I will send to the ambassadors. I will up Sebastian. This is the reply email. Subject, so 5 types of influencers. Call to action. Yes, I'll share this. As you can see, I have 5 more characters. And then let me take a picture to put in there. Up. I can easily crop, put the image that is right here. And then here I will just write a small email to all my colleagues about this campaign that I like share. We have a nice article about the type of influencers. It will be good. With your network. Voila. So this is a short email. Obviously, if you are doing this with external ambassadors, I would invite you to be a bit more specific, to tell them exactly what you are expecting. And the email should never be too long. As you know, and as you have experienced, you will not read an email that is too long, but you always like to have the right information to be able to go further. So then I will send a test. Here I have a test which is already with my name on there, and I will say send, go. So here I have a message that I'm almost there, and then I'll go to my mailbox. I will refresh. Up, and voila. So this is the email that I have just created. Here the first name is not shown because it's a test. Yes, I'll share this, and here you go. This is the seeding page with all the different social media network that I have chosen, and anytime you move over, then you will see the different channel. I don't see WhatsApp here because WhatsApp it's only shown when you open it on your phone. So let me share this on my Facebook. Voila. Here you go. Should you want, you can, your ambassador can comment. Types of. All right, and then just hit the button. So as you can see, in 2 clicks is being shared. And here I have a thumbs up because I just shared. And if I go to my Facebook, I see that this is the test we did before, but here it is just now. And when I click, boom, I go to the blog post that I have put in my campaign, and I can read, and my network behind the ambassador is able to see all these blog posts. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to create a campaign. It took here only a few minutes. So let me go back to the presentation, as I still have a few things I'd like to show you. So, no, that's not what I want, is, sorry. Voila. So, the conclusion are, as you can see, it's super important to understand who are your ambassadors, what is your DNA, what do they expect, when do they expect it, to being able to create this sweet spot and have a high and exponential activation. So I will show you as a conclusion a little video that we have shared a bit after our event, and which we thought in terms of timing was interesting, because we'll see it's a funny video that we shared on a Saturday morning. As we know, a lot of people are checking their mail in the morning of Saturday, when actually there is a lot less competition in terms of exposure. So let me just show you. Nice and gentle. Like you see, it's already growing. And adding water to your seeds is like taking care of your ambassadors. They will grow very rapidly. They grow fast. So as a takeaway for this webinar about how to activate ambassadors, I wanted to remind you, like this presentation or this video did now, is about seeding content, and it's about caring. And if you do the two, then you will win. Like you've seen here, our plant grew really fast. Sometimes it doesn't go as fast as this, but again, it's about seeding and caring. And this is this simple equation of seeding plus caring is winning. So if you take this with you, and if this is the only take you take out of this webinar, then I'm happy. Just try to think of this anytime you are building your ambassador program and you are sharing content with your ambassadors. So what's next? So what you will have after this webinar, or soon after the webinar, you will receive the link with this presentation and the video of the webinar, and there will be a link to a live test as well. So if you want to test what I have shown you, actually the receiving an email, having the seeding campaign, and share. If you want to put yourself in the shoes of an ambassador, we will send you together with the document a link where you can subscribe to a home base, a simple one, and then you will receive content that you will be able to share. And like this, you will see what are these different steps and how easy it is for an ambassador to share. So you will not become an ambassador. You can also, if you go to our website, there is a little button, become an ambassador. So you're always welcome to do it with pleasure. But what we will send you is really for a live test. So voila, that was it. That was the webinar on how to activate ambassador. I hope you enjoyed the ride. And if you have any question, I guess my colleague Azure already did the work of answering any question that were during the webinar. I'm happy to help you now with any question you may have. So I see that at this moment the question are more comments about the sound of the video. I'm really sorry for that. That it's the audio wasn't good, but because it wasn't that good, I'm happy to send the video to you together with the documents that you can enjoy it again in a better condition. So that's it. I don't see any new question, or at least I don't see here questions that are really directed to me. As you see here, you can always visit our website to have more information. And if there is any specific question, you can just send us an email to community@socialcedar. Voilà. I thank you very much for your time. I hope again that you enjoyed the ride, and I hope to see you back again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.